Hi everyone, my name is Karis and welcome back to my corner of the internet where I talk about books and other things that I enjoy. In today's video I'm doing part 2 of my ideal reading time series where I try and fit reading into my daily routine. Last week I did reading every night before bed and this week is reading every morning. There's not really that much else to say, so I will just get on with the vlog clips so you can see how I got on this week. Good morning, today is day 2 of reading every morning. I did read yesterday but I didn't film because I was doing sprints and I didn't really know whether to include them or not. Like, I want to mention them in the video, but because they're already such an ingrained part of my routine and that is the one time that I actually dedicate to reading every week without fail, or at least for the past month or so I've been doing it, then I didn't know whether to include it in this challenge. So we did about an hour and a half of reading in total in that, and I read about 80 pages. So what I might do is I might add on those pages like at the end of the week, so next Saturday when I'm editing this, because I'm just interested first of all to see how many pages I've read like on the other days and what my sort of average number of pages for reading half an hour first thing in the morning is. So yeah, it's Monday today, it's about 8:30. I've been up for about half an hour. So far today I've had my breakfast. I really tried to not go on my phone very much first thing because I am the worst for that, getting up and lying in bed for half an hour to an hour and just scrolling on my phone. So I did look at it for like 10 minutes because I like to clear any notifications that have come in, but other than that I haven't looked at it yet today. I'm very proud of myself, and now I'm going to sit and read for half an hour. I don't have work today so I could read for longer, but I'm going to check in after half an hour to see how far I've got. I'm going to be reading The Orange Girl by Gerda by the time this vlog goes up. I should, fingers crossed, hopefully have uploaded my video where I'm reading this, because it's book 2 in my literally travelling series where I read books from all around the world, starting with the countries that I was meant to visit in 2020, and Norway was one of those countries. I am 65 pages into this. Hopefully in half an hour I can get to like page 100 would be good. Okay, so I've read my 35 pages this morning. I'm up to page 100 of The Orange Girl. I did read for a bit longer than half an hour, more like 40 minutes, but I just didn't want to stop. For some reason I'm reading this book quite slowly, but that's fine. I feel like I'm really trying to savor this, like some of the descriptions and the feelings that are evoked. Like, I don't want to rush it. It's not a book that I want to rush through, so I'm fine with that, having just read 35 pages, because I think I'll finish this today and I'll probably be reading something different tomorrow morning. One thing that I've really been liking this morning is that I was reading with an ambient room video on in the background. So I was watching a library one, which is just like a library with some sort of relaxing noises on in the background as well. I really like watching read with me videos, as I think I've said, while I'm reading. But I've heard quite a few people recently talking about these ambience videos, and I thought I would give one a go, and I really enjoyed it, even though I don't actually see it because I always take my glasses off to read and then I can't actually see what's going on. I really like just the vibe, and the like library sounds I find really relaxing, so I really liked that. I wasn't doing that when I was doing my reading before bed because first of all the internet in my room is terrible, and secondly with reading before bed I was trying to sort of put away any other technology, but I think in the morning it's a bit different. I can put it on the TV, so I really liked that. I don't know if I'll do it every morning, but I really enjoyed that for today. So yeah, that's day 1, but really day 2 because I'm counting yesterday as well, of reading in the morning. It was a success. I think the rest of the week will be the real challenge because I'm working Tuesday to Friday, so tomorrow onwards. I don't start until 10. If I get up like the sort of time that I did today, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Like, I should be able to do my reading. But I think what I find is I have this sense of like real stress about beginning work, and then I sort of don't do anything beforehand because I feel guilty about relaxing, but then I don't really actually end up getting anything productive done either. That's tomorrow's issue, but today I would say was a success and I've really enjoyed it, and now I feel ready to take on the day. It's day 2 of reading in the morning. I've actually already done my reading this morning, but I thought I would just update the vlog after having done that so that it's not just another video of me just in my pajamas. I thought I'd actually make the effort and get dressed before speaking to the camera this morning. So it's currently about 20 to 10. I have 20 minutes before I start work for the day. So I did my reading from 9 till 9:30, and I was reading my latest book because I finished my other one yesterday evening. I'm now reading We Are All Birds of Uganda by Hafsa Zayan, and I did start this last night as well, and this morning I read from page 22 to page 42, so just 20 pages, which, I mean, 20 pages, it's more than what I would have read normally in the morning, so that's great. But again, I feel like I'm reading slower than what I normally do. I would think that normally I read about a page a minute, so I'm not sure if it's just the book, because I was reading quite slowly yesterday morning as well, or whether it is to do with the time of day. I think I'm just gonna have to see. Like, I haven't done it enough to tell yet, and I haven't read this book in other circumstances enough to tell yet either. In terms of how reading in the morning's going so far, I do enjoy it. Like, I really like sitting down and reading. I think it's a really nice thing to start the day with. However, it does just feel weird. Like, I feel almost guilty about it, like I shouldn't do it. Yesterday was fine because I didn't have anything else structured, scheduled in for the day, but today, because of starting work, I feel like I shouldn't be doing it, and then I feel like I am possibly slowing myself down a bit, because in the back of my head I'm just checking over all the things that I need to do today, like trying to remember what I did on Friday, thinking about who I should be emailing today, and like thinking, oh, we've only got this much time left before you need to start work. Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to be like a just having to get myself out of that mentality and allowing myself to just relax. I think what I'm going to try later in the week, maybe tomorrow, is getting dressed before I sit down and start reading. So today I had my breakfast and just went and sat on the sofa in my pajamas like I did yesterday, but maybe if I actually get dressed so I feel like I'm ready for the day, and then it's just something that I can sit and do before starting work, maybe that will help. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Also, I should probably say now that obviously this reading in the morning routine is only going to be reflective of like the current situation that we're in. At the moment I have time in the morning because I'm not starting work on the days that I do work until 10, whereas normally when I was in the office I used to get the bus at 7:20 in the morning. I used to be in the office for 8, so it's a big change. Obviously whenever I go back to the office, whenever that will be, there is the bus ride that I can read on. However, I did always used to get really distracted on there because it was a school bus route. There used to be so many kids and students on there, and they were just so loud. I feel like it has been easier so far to tell myself that I'm going to do it because I do have the time there, and it's not like the nighttime one where if I didn't do it I can go to bed earlier and I'm going to be like more refreshed. I think the problems will arise if I sleep in, which I'm trying not to, because I should really be able to get up and have plenty of time to read before a 10 o'clock start. So those are my current thoughts. I've got work starting in like 15 minutes, so I need to go and just get my head in the game for the day and for the week. So I will update you tomorrow. Bella now loves to feature in all the videos that I do. So it's now day 3 of reading in the morning, or day 4 because I'm not counting Sunday. Is it? I feel like I have no sense of what day of the week it is. It's the 3rd morning that I'm filming. So as you can see, today I have got dressed. It's about 9 o'clock now. I've been up for about 45 minutes. I decided that today I would try out doing my reading after I've got fully dressed for the day, to see if it makes me a bit less stressy, because yesterday I found myself stressing, thinking about what time I would be finished reading and then if I'd have enough time to get ready to start work for the day. I know that I could work in my pajamas, I know I could do that, but it's something that I don't really want to start because I feel like it would really not be very good for me mentally to not have that sort of distinction. So as I said, it's just gone 9, so I have got time for my half an hour of reading today. I'm still reading We Are All Birds of Uganda by Hafsa Zayan. I'm still on page 42. I haven't read any more of this since yesterday. I just didn't have time yesterday evening with other stuff that I was doing. So I'm hoping to get to like page 70, I guess. 30 pages would be really great, but yesterday I only managed 20 in the time, so we will see. I think I'm going to do the first 20 minutes with Rhiannon's Read With Me video because she recently posted that and I do really enjoy her Read With Me video. So I'm going to do that, and then the last 10 minutes I will just, I don't know, either find something else or read in silence. So I just read for a little over 30 minutes, probably more like 35, and I've read 25 more pages of my book. I think it must just be this book that I'm reading slower than normal. Like, I'm not reading it super slowly, that's still decent, but normally, as I say, I feel like I'm normally more towards the page a minute mark. I don't know whether it's because it's a hardback, it's a bit bigger, but now that I know that it wasn't just yesterday, and I think it's more just my reading speed with this book, I'm just not gonna worry about it too much. I'd rather focus on enjoying the book than thinking about how quickly I'm reading it. So I got up to page 65. I am enjoying it so far. I have felt better about my reading today, like less stressed. So I think tomorrow I'll definitely try and get dressed before picking up my book as well. But now I've got like 15 minutes before I need to start work, so I'm gonna go and set my laptop up. And that is another morning of reading done. It's Thursday today, so it's day 4, 5, I have no idea anymore. Yes, I am wearing exactly the same outfit as yesterday. This is a judgment-free zone. I've done my half an hour of reading this morning, as I have been doing every day this week. I've been reading We Are All Birds of Uganda by Hafsa's I Am, and I'm finally up to page 100. I read 25 pages today because I read a tiny bit of this last night. I don't know if it's just this week, like I haven't been feeling it or what, but I feel like because I have been reading in the mornings, I definitely haven't been picking my book up at any other point in the day. When I did the evening one, I know there was definitely some times where I didn't read in the day because I was like, oh, I'll read at night instead. But I think there were also some days where I did read in the day as well. So I don't know if I can take anything from that. I don't know if I've just been like busy, but I really want to finish this book before the end of January, so I do need to get a move on with it. I think the other thing in the evenings is that I was more inclined to read for a bit longer than half an hour, so I put the half an hour limit on, and then if I went past that I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, I'll just keep going. And I think because with nighttime it's sort of like this infinite time. Obviously you want to go to sleep eventually, but there's definitely like more of a tendency to be like, oh, I'll just read for 10 more minutes, whereas in the morning I think because I'm aware now that I've only got like 25 minutes before I'm meant to start work, I don't really want to get too far into this. I don't want to get to a bit where I don't want to put it down or anything, so I feel like I tend to stop more like dead on when the half an hour mark is. Obviously, like if I'm near the end of a chapter or the end of a page or whatever, I'll read to that, but I feel like I have been just sticking to the limits a lot more. So I guess that could be like one con of reading in the morning versus reading in the evening. So it's the final day of reading in the morning. It's currently Saturday, which means I need to get my reading done so that I can edit the last bit of this video and get it uploaded for this afternoon's upload. I did do my half an hour of reading yesterday morning, but you know when you just have one of those days where you just feel behind on everything and you're like rushing to get everything done? That was me yesterday. I just seemed to be slow at like having my breakfast and getting changed and stuff, so I didn't actually have enough time to wrap up my reading for yesterday. I'm going to put this camera down because my arm is already hurting. I read 25 more pages of the same book, We Are All Birds of Uganda, but I actually did do some reading of this last night as well, so I'm now up to page 176. I really want to finish this before the end of the month so that I can include it in my January wrap up. Like ultimately I know it doesn't matter, but it would just be so nice to have completely finished everything that I'm reading by the end of the month so that I can move on to the new month with a fresh pile of books, because I already have a pretty clear idea of what my reading for February is going to look like. I'm basically now going to have my half an hour, and I'm only going to do half an hour to begin with today because, as I say, I need to get this video edited or finish editing it. I've edited most of it, and then get it uploaded for 3 this afternoon. It's currently like just before 10, so yeah, I just want to get it all done, and then when I've uploaded it I can do some more reading. So I'd like to get up to page 200 in the half an hour. I think that's achievable. That's about the rate that I've been reading at, but I will check back in 30 minutes time. I'll let you know how I've got on, and then I will give you my final thoughts for the week. So that's my half an hour done with. I've come upstairs because I wanted to film the intro and the wrap up to this video, but I did manage to get up to page 200 exactly of We Are All Birds of Uganda. I don't know off the top of my head how many pages I've read, but I'll put first the amount of pages that I read between Monday and Saturday, so 6 days, 6? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 6 mornings of just reading for half an hour, so the equivalent of 3 hours. This many pages is how many I read, and now I'll put on screen the amount that I read, taking into consideration the hour and a half of sprinting that I did last Sunday as well. This is the total. Obviously I haven't added it up while I'm filming this, but I feel like I probably did read more pages at least when I was doing the evenings.
Hello, it's Editing Caris here. I just thought I would jump on to say that I just looked back at last week's video, and I managed 253 pages that week and 254 pages this week. So I basically read exactly the same amount, which I just think is funny. So I just wanted to put that here. But everything else that I say after this still makes sense. So yeah.
And I didn't even do that every evening. There were a few evenings where I didn't manage to complete the challenge. So I think in terms of average number of pages per day, I probably did read more in the evenings. It's kind of difficult to tell though, because in the evening reading, I read one middle grade and I read This Winter by Alice Osen, which is quite short and has like different formats and illustrations and things in it. Whereas obviously the book that I'm reading at the moment is just text and the words are like smaller and it is quite big because it's a hardback. So what I would really need to do is like compare words, which obviously I'm not going to be able to do. So instead of talking about the actual quantity, I think it's better to look at just the experience in general. So I've actually really enjoyed reading in the morning. You saw at the beginning of the week that I did find it a little bit difficult to get into, but I think what really helped me was when I made the decision to come and get ready for the day and get changed before doing my reading. I think that doing that put me in such a good frame of mind to start the day, because I was out of bed, I was changed much earlier than what I normally would be, because normally I'm doing that at like 5 to 10 right before having to start work. So I was doing that at like 8, half 8, and then sitting down and reading for half an hour before beginning my day. I just felt like it was a very good way to set me up for having a good and productive day, and it got me into a routine and got me into just the swing of the day a lot quicker than I had been doing when I wasn't doing my reading beforehand. I actually found this one a lot easier to stick to than the reading before bed. Obviously, as I've said before, I do have the sort of luxury at the moment of having that time in the morning. When I go back to work full time, I won't have that, but for February at least my hours are going to be the same, so I definitely think I'm going to be continuing on with it. It's definitely a routine that I feel like I can really stick to. It took a lot less work once I got past that initial like feeling weird about sitting down with my book first thing in the morning. It was so easy to stick to, as opposed to the evenings where I definitely still need to work on my sleep schedule and my just procrastinating and scrolling on my phone in general. Talking about phones and technology, something that I've noticed when I looked into it today is that my screen time for this week is down 25% from my screen time for last week when I was doing the evening challenge. And I would say last week I sort of had like an average screen time for what I have normally, but it's down 25%. And I definitely do think that this morning reading has had something to do with it, because I have been waking up about the same time as what I've been normally waking up at, so about 8 or half 8. But the big thing that I've done is I've got out of bed, I've gone down and had my breakfast, got changed, and not been on my phone first thing in the morning. Whereas previous weeks I wake up 8, half 8, then I'll be on my phone for literally an hour in bed, and then finally get myself out of bed at 9, half 9, have my breakfast, and then I have to start work straight away. In my evening video I was talking about trying to take time away from being on my phone and putting it towards reading, and obviously then I was focusing specifically on the time that I spend on an evening on my phone. And it's interesting how I found it so much easier to take that time away in a morning than in an evening. And I don't know if it's something to do with the nature of getting up for the day versus going to bed, because I definitely think I sort of sabotage myself with my sleeping, and even if I'm really tired, I will be on my phone, like just scrolling, and I find it really difficult to stop. Whereas in the morning, because I haven't started, I haven't looked at my phone yet, it's easier to just say, no, I'm not going to do that. Interestingly though, I have found that this week I have been going to bed a little bit earlier. I'm not sure if that's partly from last week or whether it's because I've been having the reading time in the morning and I've just been in a better mindset and not been focusing on technology as much throughout the day. I'm really not sure. I haven't really picked up my book that many times in the evening this week. I think I did it once, but I think maybe because I'd done my reading in the morning, I wasn't telling myself, oh, you have to read today, you have to read today, because that's what I feel like I've done in the past. I've said to myself, you have to read today, then I haven't done it, then it's got to like 11 and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still going to do that, I'm still going to do that, and while I'm scrolling on my phone I'm telling myself that I'm still going to do it, and then ultimately I'm just lying to myself because I don't. But I think because I'd already read, I didn't have that mindset. It was almost like my brain was saying, oh, you've done that for today, you don't have to do that, you can just go to sleep, which I know seems bizarre, but yeah, I do genuinely think that somehow reading in the morning has helped with my sleep schedule. Really, I've enjoyed both experiences. I think there's been pros and cons of both. I think when life goes back to a bit more of normality, the evening is going to be a time where I can prioritise more, but then on the other hand, there might be a commute that I can read on. But what I can say for reading in the morning is I think I will finish this book this month now, and I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't have been reading in the morning, because normally on the actual weekdays I probably pick up my book about once, whereas I've been picking it up every day and at the weekends. So yeah, that's really good. So as I've said previously, I had a third part to this series in mind, which was reading at lunchtime, and I do still want to do that, but I think I might leave it a bit, because at the moment with my weird work times and my part-time work, I don't think that I have like a proper lunchtime, and it would just be better, I think, when I'm back to a sort of full-time routine, when I have a half an hour dedicated break, and see how I get on with reading during that. So I hope people don't mind waiting, but I hope you've enjoyed watching these first two videos, the morning and the evening ones. And if you read in the morning, or if you just have reading as part of your daily routine, I would love to know how you fit it in, or just leave me a sunshine emoji to symbolise the beginning of a brand new day. Other than that though, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all keeping safe and staying well, and I will see you again next time. Bye!